Jeff, even though you weren't there not long ago, I'm guessing going back to Halifax has to be special.
Always. Yeah, always. Great city, great people, great food, and a great environment to play. So even for the players making the trip, it's a special moment because their fans they're loud. It's a packed stadium. It's a real soccer-specific stadium. So you can't be anything but excited to play there.
A lot of players have started against York 9 last weekend, earned their place on the pitch in training.
Right.
How important is it for players to maintain their spot in game time?
Yeah, it's vital. It's vital, of course, because that's when they're tested, isn't it? I mean, you get to practice all week and train all week, but you're evaluated on your performance in a match. And we've seen it here quite a bit where we score quite a bit in training. Match day is different. Match day, you've got to do it with a bit more pressure in front of your fans, and it's different. But no, match day is always test day. You always want to see how players handle the pressure, handle the opposition, have the focus, be able to retain what you've talked about tactically in training. Do they bring that onto the pitch? So, yeah, we definitely judge based on the game.
What's been the biggest difference between Cavalry Forge and the other teams where there's been a lot of parity?
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, so the number one thing I'll say about Calvary, and this is, I do not by any stretch mean to disrespect them.
Is it chemistry?
It's the chemistry piece. I mean, Tommy, number one, they've got good players. So I have to start with that. Right off the bat, you don't have the success they've had without good players, and they have that. They're also very well managed, with Tommy Wheeldon Jr., with Martin Nash, Leon as well. Like they've just got a really deep, good staff that know these players well, but they've been together for a long time, too. And there's a real big chemistry piece with that Cavalry team. Obviously they have to have all the pieces in place as far as their tactics, which they always get spot on. A manager has to be able to motivate his players, which Tommy does all the time. But they're also a core group of players that have played together won a PDL championship together last year, have had the opportunity to be together all winter, and then they come in just with that real sense of unity, the understanding. There's, when a team is at its best football, it's when there's nonverbal communication between players, and his players have that. And you see, we're still, depending on who's in on the day, we don't share that necessarily, that same type of chemistry on the pitch. And then you look at Forge. They have this really good Sigma base, again, very well coached, and just phenomenal players. I mean, that Forge that Forge roster is deep. I think they're 2 teams deep almost. It's like maybe they're the Man City of our league, and just quality football with Forge. And they get goals when they need them. Defensively, very sound. It's just those 2 teams versus the rest of us at the moment. It's really a case of consistency versus good for one game and indifferent another.
Jimmy Brennan said players are fighting for their positions, for their contracts. When asked if there was still meaningful football to be played, is that something that you and the rest of the coaching staff emulate? As a professional, you have to come in every day and give 100% that you're not going to be guaranteed a spot in next season.
Yeah, there's a lot to that question, Thomas. There is a lot to play for still in this season. We want to be 3rd overall. Right now I believe we're 1 point up on some others in the overall table, both seasons together. If the Canadian Championship keeps the same format as this past year, the top 3 teams will get a bye in the first round next year. So with a small roster size, the less games you have to play, the better off you are. So you are playing for something here. 3rd place is it's an important position to be in this league based on the Canadian Championship. Now, for the players and for the staff, ourselves as well, we've got to prove to the ownership as a technical staff that we've got what it takes here to have a better start to next year, to show a fight right to the end down the stretch here. And then for the players, of course, I mean, every moment for a player is an audition, whether they're auditioning for us or auditioning for their next team, but every moment is an audition. And, certainly the managers are looking at players throughout the league. They're looking at where they might want to strengthen their lineup. And if a team is scouting us, for example, and they see players have given up with 5 games to go, there's a good chance that those managers are not going to take these players. So the players know that. So they're always playing for their next contract, whether it's with FC Edmonton or whether another club. So there is something to play for. And I would say this, that we have the privilege of being in professional sports. We have the privilege of playing a child's game for a living, earning a living from it, and there's responsibility to that, and that responsibility is to the owners that fund the team. That responsibility is to the fans and supporters that come out every day and cheer you on, put their emotion, their passion behind a group of players and a squad. So you know, you take that with a real big responsibility, and you know, so for us, yeah, like anything, you go to your work and you've got to do your job, don't you? And in any facet of life, if you don't do your job properly, you probably don't have a job for long. So that should be motivation enough.
And to finish off, even though the last results have not been positive, your team has shown a character to go forward. What do you expect from them? The game against Wanderers, especially in a venue that they've been very good at playing at home.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, Thomas. You know, at the end of the day, we've beaten ourselves these last couple games. You know, the stats in the last game against York, every stat in that game would suggest that we actually should win that game 3-1, not lose it 3-1. But we find a way to beat ourselves, don't we? And we don't take our chances. And, you know, for this upcoming game, we were poor there. We stole a point there in the 0-0 draw. I thought Halifax was a better team, and they deserved a result there. I said that to Hardy after the game. We never got out of first gear. So what I'm looking for, what we're hoping to have here as a response is, again, that pride. We've had good success against them here at home, but we've got to now go there and do it on their pitch where they have been very good. But I think that's a game you want to play in as a player. You know, you're playing against a side that's good at home. You're playing against a side that doesn't. They've only lost 2 games there, both to Calgary. And so you should be motivated for that. Plus, you've got their fan base there that's going to be loud, packed stadium, like that should motivate you. But for us, we're going to keep, like you said, we'll keep going forward. I think we're trying to play football here. We're trying to go forward. We're trying to create some excitement for the fans as well. We want to score goals. We're not scoring goals at the moment, but not from lack of trying to do the right things. So there, number one, I'm hoping that we just see a bit more passion from the lads when we step on that pitch. You know, we need to take the game to them at the beginning, not let them dominate like they did the last time. And hopefully we'll reward those watching with a goal or 2.
Jeff, thank you so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.